kill goes to LGD. A third will too. The curtain call's not enough. Shallow can't get the damage. The repels there. Meteor's still alive. He finally dies to the smite of a hacker, but what has it brought? Nothing but destruction.
FPX are routed. They're burned. They're the Phoenix by LGD. They lose the Herald. They lose the team fight. XQW, can he get on top of LWX?
Put away your Jin. You have a plot armor. Something. Throw it out. I don't know. Something. Okay, see, there you go. Plot armor. LWX,
yeah, plot
he's okay.
Yeah, XQW doesn't have the damage to kill him anyway, but it's quite funny. Meteor gets steal in.
Is the nightmare there yet again against Hacker?
He's
Meteor's in the pit. He doesn't get it, but Xiaoshu does. The Habits are done. They're dusted, and they are dead as a huge LGD presence in a 2-fight win. Back to back, and now into a Baron.
FPX can try and burn the house down to make the spider go away.
Make it go away!
Drunken Man, it doesn't matter. And speaking of fire, look at this engage from Chocho, man. 4-3 members, I think, clipped by that canny stun. So hard for LGD to really react to that. Health bar is so heavily chucked out. Ultimate comes in and Jinjiao drops to the curtain for an LPC. Would have been close to follow if XQW doesn't tank it up. Shallow just isn't able to come in and capitalize on these health bars. He's being man-marked there by Xiaoshu, but look at this. Who gets their smite in first? So smite comes in, I believe, from Hacker. And Meteor, I think he's smiting a champion, and it's just Xiaoshu who manages to steal it away. Hilarious stuff from
That's the Saris, baby. No, but it really was just a clutch moment for LGD to continue to press this lead, right? They're 8,000 gold in the advantage now. Shallow, you might have leapfrogged your way to a death here, buddy. As he went up over the wall trying to get the grab, has to go right back over the wall, but there are spiders in the walls, Damana!
I'm terrified. It's eight-legged freaks all over again.
PTSD here, I can't.
Yeah,
Somebody save the cat!
Yeah, someone save the cat. Good thing that, oh man, if there was a Yumi in this game.
It would be so fitting. It would be so fitting. The eight-legged freaks have taken over Summoner's Rift again. They're in FPX's walls. And now it's just a actual push in the mid lane. Top side as well. Looking at these inhibs, still 1 minute and 40 seconds on their Baron buff.
Yeah, with the soul, you can see it's just too hard to step up if you're FPX. Inhibitor number 1 is gone. And now they'll just have the top wave to work with. FPX, I don't even know if there's much point in saying that there's still a chance, because right now it's going to take a massive setup from Chocho, who has no
on the back. They're trying to find it. They engage a little early. Shout, who is still so far away. He make it. They've already lost Chocho. And now the shot from the accelerated shock blast will come through. Shallow, who doesn't really have an angle. He gets Everfrosted down. Engage from Jinjiao. And that flank meant nothing against the might of LGD in this series.
FPX are being 3-0 today in this best of series. LGD, they're going to close onto the Nexus towers. First one's going to drop. FPX, I think they're out of gas, Mazel.
See if they can make one last-ditch effort here. More shock blast coming through. They have another minion wave. One knockback from Care. You haven't been able to find the bridge, though, that FPX were taking to the promised land. And LGD, while they do lose down, they're still looking back onto FPX, and they're starting to fall apart. There's more feathers left on that plucky Phoenix, and LGD will go up to 3 wins in their series of the spring split.
And they're going to need it. I realize I've been silenced a little bit. That's my own mic doing that. Apologies. But yeah, LGD, I feel like in all games had a lot of positive things to talk about, right? It was just that very, very hilarious game number 1, which led to this being drawn out to a 3-game series. very, very clinical in this final game. I think it has to be
A
said.
bit more synergy being built up with this team. It is starting to pay dividends. They are starting to look like one of those teams that can, you know, maybe creep into.
Oh, not again.
Got myself here. They're gonna walk in. Yeah, you can't do anything. ISKM. He's just got nothing to go here. And honestly, I feel like this competition from IG is so reliant on Gideon getting the engage, or even Dove with a stolen Sejuani that there's just not else that they can really do.
And, you know, in previous series, earlier in the split, maybe YSKM had gotten solo kills in lane. Maybe he'd gotten to the point where he is an individual force. That is not the case in this game. He's picked up the Gwen, which he's not played this split. We've definitely had some worries about YSKM's champion pool, and you can see that in moments like this, it feels like YSKM is just a little bit lost. He doesn't really... Didn't have access to them in this one. Oh,
they're
engage
looking
at
for
least.
it. This is it. They're going to go for it, but it's on the tankiest member of OMG. The fates are sealed. The stacks have been taken away. YSKM is finally here, but he can't do anything about it. They looked for a pit, and they got routed.
Oh, that is absolutely disgusting from OMG. The first time IG group up in the same spot, they are punished for the audacity of stacking together. The AoE comes through. This is what IG have been trying to avoid for the last 22 minutes. They group up once and they get absolutely blown up. Gonna go back into the replay to see how this happened, because IG, their own jungle is not theirs anymore. This is what happens when you lose some.
那个 Wonder 1v1，我记得是他说的，我有记得跟德萨1v1什么什么的。
他曾在 LEC 和 LCS 都获得过联赛冠军。
LCS 是哪里
？G2 的那个有印象，但是忘了名字。
？AD 吗？
他曾在 AD 和中单位置都打过世界赛。
有很多答案吗？有别的提示吗？
我知道那个人，但我忘记他叫什么了。我记得他跟悠哉打过。
P 开头那个。
AD 和中单的打世界赛，你记得？
他的招牌英雄是妖姬和霞。
他跟 Cap 是一个队伍。
我知道，这个我知道 ，Perks 我应该比较了解，克罗地亚的。那就是 Perks 呗。Perks。
It's a three-man stun! Huge for OMG. They're going to be able to burn off so many of these cooldowns. They're not able to go for it just yet. The flash away, as you can see now, they're going to be Cream going forward to the first blood. And 2 more kills. OMG are getting everything from this. IG, he just needed to leave bot lane alone.
Oh, you can see the angle. If just one more key, Lee Sin Q, hits in the right place, that is huge for them. Hang on. My PP God is going to get out safe there, but Abel gets the right weapon combination to be utility for the early damage. He has the Infernum, and he has, of course, the Gravity here. That root will come in so clutch after this point. Goes through the rest of his rifle.
Before anything else can happen, he hasn't done it just yet, and he gets the healing as well. The grand challenge is good, but not good enough, and now you've used all of your initiation. Nobody has guide. They want more from this. They're going to get the flash there out of Aki, but now the Aphelios in the bot side gets to play PvE, and you've gained nothing from it.
IG, they're not quick enough to find the play, and they're not quite decisive enough when they find their timing mark. They don't get themselves the Herald, they don't get themselves the pick, and as you're saying, they're leaving this Aphelios alone with his bot side. He's stacking up his hull, he's going to take down multiple plates in that bot side. OMG, once again, getting everything they want out of this phase of play, not really giving anything over in return.
No, they're not, and even Dove is losing that fight in the bot side. The Rift Herald has been started, and now On and Wink are kind of separated away. They're going to get themselves a little bit of an ult, but he takes a fair bit of damage before he goes back to his soul revet. They're going to try and finish off this kill. They need to get something here. There's the fake steal, not going to land onto On, who does get the lightning crash. There is Wink with the quickness. Aki taking so much damage. Will he finally go down? He hasn't dropped just yet. There it is. This is a 4v4 right now. As you can see, the dumps are coming in. Shanji looking for reset. Doesn't quite get the first one. As On does go down as well. Gideon looking for something with the double kill to Cream. Now Wink's in a hell of a lot of trouble. No mana, no health bar, and nowhere to go.
IG, they take a bit of a tourist trip. They take the scenic route to see what the heck OMG we're going to do around that Herald. They don't find the play, and they're the ones which are run down towards the end of it. While all of this is happening, Abel captures out Cole, gets placed on the bot side, gets himself his first item after this point. This play is so lethargic, it's so slow from IG. Cream has his ult back up by the end of this play. He has it. He's going to start this off. Remember, this started with a pick onto Cream in the mid lane, not quite leading to a kill, but forcing his ult out. And despite not having Ghost or Flash at this point on the Shanji, which was again an earlier act of this play, he's more than happy to go through because he still has his ultimate. YSKM goes down and he's not at the point of power to force this play on his own. And OMG, it feels like again they are looking at IG and just knowing they have more tools to play with.
Abel's not gone, and Abel's got the shock crumbs, gets himself another kill. The Q is not going to land, but it is 2 for 1, and you can see IG, they're already at desperation stations. This is just starting to become harder and harder, more and more difficult, and there's just nothing they can really do. They need to find a miracle.
Yeah, Abel needs to rename himself to Kane. He's becoming the original murderer in this bot side double kill. Shanji looking for blood in the top side.
I mean, he's got Ghost. There's no flash here. He's looking for more. He's got the dump, but he's not got the stacks. They just got off him there. He almost was able to make it work, but that's the power of the Darius, and also why we see the Fiora skill matchup work so well. Can make those kills happen, but let's have a look at this Huna, because again, it's IG looking for this fight.
It's them looking for it.
Abel trying to put in huge damage, but not able to get anything going right now. The taunt is decent, and this is a good fight at the moment, but look at the shackles, look at the healing. He's got red, white, let's fight, as they look for more and more. They get themselves one. They're looking for two, as Abel is just a walking turret right now. He's doing so much for this team, and yeah, Wink, you ain't getting out of this one alive, buddy. You're gonna have to try and figure out something else, because he is darting around the damage. Oh, he walked into it. They now know where he is, and he's just going to be caught out, killed off. Nothing more to be said about it. Soul going over, or Soul Point going over to OMG. And again, I don't like calling it too early, but this game feels done.
Oh, it feels so done. OMG, they have the early gold. They've hit their one power question. IG, they haven't pulled off a successful engage combo the entire game so far. They don't have the vision control to make this desperation play. And somehow, in the midst of this, Abel pops Ghost, stacks up the Chakrams with his the Crescendum ultimate, gets them very, very quickly stacked up. He pops Ghost, and he is seeing Ghost for the rest of this fight. These health bars are completely shredded. You know, we were talking about, you know, the caliber of Crescendo, the rifle turret. Yeah, that's a great combo. What do you have to sever him in?
Just the cleanse out, hasn't used it just yet. You can see them just looking for anything. Fate Seal gets dropped on the YSKM as he's then free. Even Green's taking a hell of a lot of damage. The Fate Seal not going to be able to save him. Gideon just gets himself away. Good ultimate though from Abel, and he turns it right back around. Abel is a one-man army, and Abel is saying you can kill everybody else. I do not care, because I am Aphelios, and I have 200 years of Game 10 experience.
He becomes an absolute chainsaw. So many Chakrams. Gideon trying to find some miracle seal, but he's got so little HP to do it with.
He's got so little HP, but it's only Aki who's gone in after him. He needs to be in the pit. He needs to be going to go for it. The executed. Finally, they get the lead in down, but they haven't been able to take down the Baron. He needs to get back in the pit, Aki. Finally, he does. The slide comes in a little dodgy right there, not going to lie. And now on. It's hit there by the Stride Breaker, but buffers it very, very nicely. The Ghost is good. Flash away, he's still hunting you, he's still pushing you. Ooh, not able to get the apprehend. Dove there to make sure nothing else happens off it. But great fights coming out from OMG. And honestly, similar to game number 1, they are good. It feels like they're leagues ahead of IG right now.
Now, they've set themselves up for so much success that IG have to get desperate. And they get desperate once again into awesome DPS from Abel. He puts down the rifle turrets once more, and IG are completely eviscerated by them. So that's Baron down. This is reset. They get to spend their gold OMG.
Abel is already shredding health bars. They're going to get the kick off. Everyone's dead. No one shall survive. Double kill for Cream. Triple for the One. And OMG will 2-0 IG. And they will put themselves as firm playoff hopefuls as we move into the second half of the split.
That is absolute execution. OMG took the head off the snake in this one, and IG, they tried to play towards a bit more comfort towards YSKM in the second game, but it was to no avail. OMG, they out-team fight, they out-think, they out-trap, they take down the Series 2-door.
2-0, great showing here for OMG, and I'm starting to have some very large existential questions for IG right now. This is no longer becoming a question mark about whether or not they're good enough, and I'm starting to think will they even make playoffs, because we're looking at quite the loss streak coming out here right now. Victor Scout, lasers going in and out. The Shy tries to make something work. Chris cannot get out alive. And it ends up being Weibo turning that one completely and picking themselves over 5 kills overall.
That is such a freebie for LNG. They don't have to worry about being picked off in Fog of War with this long-range engage comp. They just get to mash heads in a 5v5 around the Dragon. Weibo, it feels like they committed to a fight and they massively overcommitted it at that point. Xiaohu gets to do very little on that Jace. Neither does Light or the Shy. And Weibo, lots of gold given over. That gold lead they've been building up, that's slashed pretty much in half at this point. LNG pick up a Dragon as well. Extra resist.
But he does die. Hung trying to deal with the Shy right now, who's doing so much disruption. Scout in a very poor position, needs to just kind of abandon his AD carry, who goes down, and the Shy goes off. Scout picks himself up another kill, looking to try to pay back onto Light, but Light finishes him off. This time around, they do get the Dragon, but they lose the fight afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, you can nerf Cassante, you can't nerf the Shy. He gets into the backline in a way that he couldn't do in the previous fight. And suddenly the Shy has so much gold to work with after this point. Really got to see how he actually gets the right angle here, because it feels like LNG, they have chosen their own terrain, but the Shy, he just pops Ghost and runs to the backline. This fight is already around the Dragon and securing that they don't get to keep distance. They don't manage to keep the Shy from just singling out 1 versus 1s into the backline and him just getting so much damage done. Serious credit to the Shy on the backline of this. He kind of just takes this fight into his own hands. Into the game with that first kill. Maybe he can have himself a good track at these fights. Xiaohu, he's got a very low hit.
Yeah, he's dead. He's not even going to bother using his flash right now because he knows. Oh, I say that.
He does.
He's still going to try and move, but I feel like that was a fool's errand right there. And without Xiaohu, can you really keep control around this Baron pit? They're trying to just push out the bot lane in the mid lane, but it's going to be a turret and a kill, and little by little, bit by bit, LNG are just putting down more and more pressure onto Weibo, and it feels like it's just little mistakes similar to what we've seen from Weibo before. They're just not really coming together.
Yeah, I have to say, this is one of the most valuable crown purchases I've seen in a while.
Yes.
Right there, it doesn't stop Scout from dying, but it baits Xiaohu into trying taking it off of him. However, good pick.
Yeah,
they don't have the follow-up. They don't have the ability to shut down the carries on LNG. You can be tanky as you like, but if you don't have the damage to support them, things get very awkward after that point. LNG finally find themselves at a gold lead after this point. Weibo, they are seriously running out of options as the minutes tick by.
It just feels like bit by bit, little by little, LNG are just suffocating them out. We can have a look at the replay here, because again, look, you know, this is them going forward, and it looks like they find out Tarzan with a great cocoon, but the resistances, again, Nightmare, are just keeping them alive so long.
And look, I get that you kill the Maokai. The objectives are down at this point, though, and it's not like the fight is over. If you could disengage from this, that's fine. You get away with...
There's going to be a long teleport coming in. That's going to be Zika. Not quite finding him. Doesn't check the brush, and they don't see where he's gone. Now they know where he is, so they're going to be able to back away from that. But Xiaohu gets out with daylight robbery.
Now, I have to say, when you play against Xiaohu, you expect 1 or 2 moments like this. This is just the kind of player he is. And this is another way which Weibo can add extra quests into it. In the way that only really Xiaohu does in World League of Legends. You just play the smoke and mirrors. You play around something macro, like you have the solo laners which can actually do some damage to towers at this point in the game, but you can't make mistakes as the 4-man unit if you leave someone alone on a side lane. Xiaohu's going to join back up with them, make it 5 people in the mid lane on both sides. 1 minute till the soul.
Light cleanses, so that's the Ash Arrow for the cleanse. Very good
That's
for
the
Weibo,
pick.
for LNG. Weibo trying to see if they can catch out LP. It's good. Knockback gets 2 of them, but they're very tanky frontliners. Scout still untouched, still putting in work. Zika not quite gone in the GA just yet, and Xiaohu can't finish him off, so he will die. It's a 5v4. They get the knockback here. You can see Light, he wants to move forward. He wants to put out work, but he can't because they don't have any vision control.
They don't have any vision control, and Light doesn't have the range to start auto-attacking these members. He's trying to look for the fourth shot.
You can see it there, just nearly one-shotting LP, but it's just not quite enough. Those Dragons are doing work to make sure that this LNG squad have got themselves the survivability in these fights. Scout still very healthy, very good on mana, and has just been keeping everybody away. The Shy tries to move forward. Tarzan gets locked up here by the Deadly Flirt. There's the Ash Arrow again. We started this fight with it. We'll end it with it. As you can see, the Karsa goes in, immediately deleted. And LNG, they have found themselves a fight. They've got rid of the jungler. They're going to get themselves a soul.
Jungler's down. The Shy doesn't have his ult to make a mess in the backline like he has to for his team. And Weibo, they are trying to outspace, trying to land the skill shots where they can, but the deck is stacked against them. 4 Mountain Dragons, Mountain Soul. They're going to have to move literal mountains to win team fights out at this point. LNG survived their early game. It's taken them a little while, over 40 minutes, but it feels like they're in a nigh unlosable spot after that objective was taken.
I mean, you've got 4 stacked Mountain Dragons, 36% added armor and magic resistance. You can't kill anybody. The Shy moving forward, they have to contest this. I completely agree with this call, but you're too far gone now. And the Shy has proved to everyone at the moment in the series, they are still a #1 team.
One last breath before the plunge, it felt like before this series began for LNG. 7-1, but against what strength of schedule, against what teams? They haven't really faced the, I suppose, the current elite teams in the LPL, but in this first game, as soon as they got their lead, as soon as they found their way into the game, they didn't let up. There was a little bit of a worry from me in regards to how they could make it through to their late game team fights. Weibo came out swinging, Karsa made an impact on the map, and it felt like LP, particularly on the Ezreal, was put a little further behind than he would have liked to. But one mistake, one huge mistake around that Dragon fight. It really felt like that was what gave them that entry into the game.
Trying to jump on the Scout who flashes over the wall. Riptail still being taken right now. Karsa gets himself in.
Stolen.
Oh, it was the 3rd proc. You got the silver bullet. Zika gets condemned backed away. They get themselves the Rift Herald a kill and an objective. Weibo turning the tides a little bit.
I swear, if this game is going to be decided by Light's Vayne, who got absolutely stomped level 1, somehow claws his way back in by a series of fights and kind of scrappy skirmishes, getting back into the game, I'm going to be partly really disappointed in LG not shutting out Light from this game, but also very impressed with how Light has managed to get himself into the right place at the right time to punish LNG's mistakes. Feels like in this series, both in game 1 and in game 2, and now the Dragon's being forced down.
They haven't really gotten anyone there. The Jack's kind of pushed in that mid lane. That Dragon not going down very quickly. Tarzan doesn't quite get himself in there as Karsa try to see how Karsa going in. Wait, Karsa's dead! Karsa just got obliterated by Scout on the back side of it, and the poke was too much. All of a sudden, this fight just went topsy-turvy. What happened? It looked all Weibo, and then it just turned into LNG.
That fight was won. It was done. You'd done the hard work. The Zigzalt got nothing done. You'd soaked the first few cooldowns. And then Karsa gets picked off around the back. They lose the Dragon. They lose themselves their Smite as well. That is going to be Soul Point. It is going to be the Baron going down. And LNG, that is a godsend. It is once again a fumble around one of these Dragon fights from Weibo, which has given LNG a path into this game they had no right having.
Oh, that's so unfortunate there for Weibo. And again, it's the duality of this Elise pick. It's so squishy. He's just not to be in now without the Elise, without that burst damage. Can you even fight this? The Shy looking to try and maybe make something going in. There we go. They flash in. They try to find him, but again, he can't kill him off just yet. They commit so much going forward. Can they find anything else? They still have Chris, but Light has to back away. He's too damn low. And 4 members strong. LNG said you can kill our Ziggs, but we'll take your Nexus.
Inconsistencies plaguing Weibo once more, but LNG ruthless when they see the opening. Weibo really starting to be made aware that LNG aren't just this team which has been pub stomping these lower teams. They are 7-1. They are looking like one of our very top teams in the LPL.
Won't kill these staggered death timers mean that the defense is just not really going to be there. Nexus turrets do fall. Xiaohu does lose that. Chris has to flash just to make sure he doesn't die to the auto attack. But there it is. 2-0 LNG. And LP is feeling it right now. Because like we said, there were doubts, there were question marks over this team, whether or not they were just pub stomping teams below them. They took on a top 6 team and they came out with flying colors.
Now, of course, this is not nearly the end of the road for LNG. They still have...
Trial 1 of 4.
Yeah, they have EDG, Top, and JDG. This has to be something that they build off as well. I think my main takeaways from this series are You know, these teams are not flawless. They do make mistakes in the early game, sometimes around those objectives as well. What I'm very impressed with, though, is how they managed to punish around these objectives, particularly how LNG punished around those dragons. First game was Scout, second game it really was. Actually, think about it, no, it was Scout again on the
no, I was going to say, it was still Scout.
I was like, Scout, I was like, wait, no, he did actually just kill that jungler. And that lethal mentality can really see you a long way, because I think about the global teams around the world, even the very best ones. They don't play perfect games. This isn't a meta where you've got players which just play completely by the book. It's objectives, the perfect timers. A lot of the best teams in the world right now are scrapping. They're playing through strong lane phases, playing through objective setups, which then kind of shut the enemy out of the game. But they do make mistakes. So LNG, despite not having a perfect series, I don't think anyone in the world has that at this point. So I look at the way that they punish mistakes. That is a skill I take away as being